What's up, y'all? Magavelli Mills TV. So let's talk about it, man. Tekashi 6ix9ine and him getting caught up with the whole 9 Trey Blood situation and him telling about the operations of the organization and who's involved and who is involved in what and all this, right? Now, look, let me just debunk this because I see a lot of people on social media saying, I'm not sitting in jail for nobody. I'm not sitting in jail for nobody that tried to rob me or kidnap me or tried to steal money from me or try to sleep with my baby mama. I'm not sitting in jail for none of them, right? And of course you wouldn't. I wouldn't either. Me and you are law-abiding citizens. Of course we would never sit in jail for nobody that ever did nothing like that to us. Of course you, and it wouldn't be right to do that. However, Tekashi 6ix9ine, he immersed himself in gang culture. He immersed himself in street culture so deep. He was telling his homies to shoot at Chief Keef. He was out here telling every rapper to suck his D and talking about how he let his nuts hang and cussing every rapper out and antagonizing rappers all the time, every time he could, antagonizing them and talking all greasy and crazy to him like he was the biggest, hardest gangster on the block. And now when he is forced to face the consequences of his actions, now he chooses to divulge and tell about everything that was going on and get other people in deeper trouble as well to get himself off of the hook, right? Self-preservation. My problem is this. If I was involved with a group of people, hypothetically speaking, because I would never do nothing like this ever in my life, I'm a law-abiding citizen. However, if I was involved in a bank robbery and I was with some other people that were my friends, and I found out my friends were stashing a load of money away from me, or they took some money that I had, and I don't like them no more. They did me wrong, they did me bogus, and we all get caught on these charges. We all get caught on the bank robbery. And in the midst of me finding out they stole money from me or kept money from me, because I'm mad, I go and tell on them deeper to get myself off of the hook. That's not okay. You have to be accountable for your own actions. Like, if we all were to get in trouble, even though I'm mad at those individuals that wronged me in that way, I have to understand, I have to accept, I have to take responsibility for the part that I played in it. And you gotta know, like, I would have to do that. Just because I'm mad at those individuals and they wronged me and they were bogus, they was bogus for wronging me, does not make it okay for me to divulge them, or they did this, they did that, they did this, to get myself off of the hook for something that I was involved in. And from my understanding, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but Tekashi 6ix9ine was involved in a lot of the stuff he's telling on other people doing. He was involved in a lot of that. He told his homie to go shoot at Keef, and he told them to do a lot of the stuff that they were doing, right? He told them because they put a battery in his back to feel like he was this big gangster, this big shot caller, to feel like he was the hardest as it come. And he was out here participating in all them activities, whether he was telling people to do it or he was doing it himself or he was involved in it. Now, of course, they were wrong. They were horrible for trying to for kidnapping him, robbing him, and I heard one of them was trying to sleep with his baby mama, or allegedly slept with his baby mama or his child's mama or whatever. Now, that's all of that is wrong. That's foul behavior. However, he can't, if he got, now that he's in this situation, and they trying to get him for stuff that he did, it's not okay to try to get yourself less time and getting other people in deeper trouble because you upset with them. No, you got to take responsibility for whatever came with your actions, whatever came from your actions, right? That's like, he jumped straight into gladiator school. He wanted to jump into gladiator school and become a gladiator, right? You got to understand, when you choose to become a gladiator, you got to understand what fate you may have. Whether it's the fame, the fortune, whether it's the great accolades, whether it's the acclaim or the popularity, or if it's you possibly ending up in jail or worse. Those things come with that, unfortunately, and he doesn't want to take responsibilities for those actions. So now he's willing to tell on other people to get himself off of the hook, which is not an honorable thing to do. And my thing is this: I didn't like Shotty them trying to sleep with his baby mama or all of this and all that was foul. But then he was out here antagonizing Chief Keef at every chance he could. Laying up with Chief Keef baby mama, even if Keef don't really care about the girl, he still was trying to clown him publicly, putting it on social media. He laying up in bed with Keef baby mama, taking her shopping, having Keef baby mama talk crazy about him, and all of this. Then having dudes try to come shoot at Keef and all of that. You gotta understand what come with that, brother. Like, You choosing to immerse yourself in gang culture. Gang culture is nothing for play. It's not a video game when you can just say, okay, time out, I'm done. Let me cut the game off. No, you are in full mode all the time. If you in it, you in it. And that's why I always chose to stay away from the streets, because I knew I was never built to take 50 years in jail. I'm not built for that. I'm not built to take 20 years. I'm not built to take 10 days in jail. I'm not for that. Like, I like my freedom. I like to do everything when I want to. I like to call and talk to my family when I want to. I like to take a shower when I want to. I like to eat when I want to. I like to see my friends and family when I want to. When you're in prison, all those privileges get stripped. It's done. Everything is like it becomes a privilege to do that when you're in prison. So I understood the streets was never for me. In Chicago, Illinois, these boys out here ain't playing. And I knew that from a long time ago. So I would never put myself in those situations. However, Tekashi was trying to get clout so bad. He was trying to become a popular figure in the hip hop world so bad that he was willing to surround himself with members of the Bloods and talk gang and talk like he was the biggest gangster alive. Come talk reckless at people. Coming to Chicago, flying to O Block to Parkway Gardens at 4 in the morning and taunting the people from O Block. He out there taunting all of them, talking crazy and acting like you just this big gangster. And I was telling his fans before, I made a video last year. I told people, I said, listen, the smartest thing for him to do is to just make his money, continue making up the music that he was making, because it was popping. He had popping music. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but he had a big audience that really loved his music. So I'm like, look, just do that. Stay in your lane, just do that, make great music, and keep doing shows, get your money. That's all you had to do. Doing all that gang stuff, acting like you the biggest bully on the block, somebody gonna try to test that. Eventually somebody gonna try to test that, or you're gonna find yourself in a situation you wish you were never in, and now he's in that situation now, and unfortunately it's sad because now that he's in this situation and he's divulging all this information, and he's telling all this information, that puts people around him or his loved ones at risk, right? And let me just say this too. Look, I don't advocate for street culture. I don't. I advocate for self-accountability. When you have to hold yourself accountable for something that goes on, right? I promise you, that's like if I got into a situation where I did something, me and my homie was doing something foul, and I got caught and he didn't. I can't get mad because I got caught and he didn't and go and then tell on him to try to get myself off of the hook. Like, no, I understood what had happened. I understood the consequences of those actions before I jumped into it. And that's all I'm saying. Like, the streets is not no game. That's why I tell all young men, stay away from them streets. It's not no game. It's not. It's never nice to nobody. The streets ain't nice. It ain't loyal to people. Anything could happen. It's a cutthroat business, the streets. So stay away from it. But now he's seeing all the things that was gonna happen. All his fans telling me he know what he doing, and he got big nuts, and he let his nuts hang. And I believe his kids that's never been in the streets or never been in street environments and never been in the hood a day in their life. Because I've been in Southside Chicago all my life except when I went to college. I seen how a lot of this stuff play out. I had people that went to school with me doing 15, 20 years for some crazy crimes. Stuff they wish they never would have been a part in. And now they're in prison crying in a pillow. Because the judge telling you got 30, 40 years. And you 19, 20. You ain't coming home till you 60 years old. Like, nobody want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. But that's why you should stay away from it. What I'm saying is, though, like, people saying, I ain't going to jail for nobody. I ain't going to jail for nobody. I don't care who it is. Yes, rightfully so. You shouldn't go to jail. You shouldn't go to jail for nobody if you're a law-abiding citizen. If you're living by, you living like a law-abiding citizen. You living a moral life. You're not out here committing crimes or doing all type of wild stuff. But once you subject yourself to that lifestyle, once you immerse yourself in that lifestyle, you got to accept the consequences that come with it. And if you got to sit down for some stuff you took a part in, you can't, because them individuals wronged you and you upset about it, as you should be rightfully upset about it. You can't go and try to divulge deeper information about them to get yourself out of the situation that you took part in. That's all I'm saying, because, again, these streets don't love nobody. Nobody. If the streets don't love Nobody, man. And I think everybody got to young men got to understand that. Once you jump into it, you jump into it. And you got to know all that comes with that. It's not a lovely lifestyle. I never want to be a person that had to look over. Well, even though in Chicago I had to look over my shoulder anyway, but I never had wanted to be a person that I couldn't go down this street. I couldn't go down that block. I had to stay on an island in the city because I'm into it with these dudes, that dude, or I'm risking my freedom every time I'm riding around or I'm walking down the street. A police come. I feel like, hey, this could be my last day here. I mean, on the free world for the next 20 years. I never wanted to participate in a lifestyle that had me in the trap like that. And all this lifestyle, the street lifestyle is a trap. It's a trap to keep us in the same trap that we saw our cousins and our uncles fall into. Sometimes we seen black men's fathers be in that cycle. And all it is a trap to keep you in the same type of cycle. Somebody gotta break that. And now, unfortunately, Tekashi 69 is realizing that now because and this is the thing, clout and fame is a dangerous thing, man. Like, it is worse than drugs because people will do things that are outside of their character, outside of who they are, to be popular, to be accepted, to be respected. They will do anything to just be popping, to have their name buzzing out here in the world. They will do anything, things that they know are just outside of their moral compass, things that they know is just like not them, things that they know can be dangerous to not only them, but the people they love. They will do it to make a name for themselves, to gain popularity. And that is dangerous. And that's exactly what Tekashi 69 was doing. Surrounding himself with all these gang members and trying to portray the lifestyle of a gang member. And he wasn't built for that lifestyle. He wasn't and a lot of dudes aren't built for that lifestyle. Even a lot of them that's in it, they find out when they get to jail. So I would never suggest anybody to get into that lifestyle because I always feel like as business savvy as a lot of these dudes are running in the streets, they could have been put into something else legal where they don't have to worry about going to jail every single day. Now, it's easier said than done. However, it's easier to do that, to put your attention into that, than to sit down and take 60 years in a place full of animals where you can't see your family when you want to, you can't even shower, you can't even have a phone call or eat when you want to eat. No privacy, none of that. So nobody want to be in no lifestyle like that. You can't see no woman. Come on, family. No. But yet and still, a lot of people find themselves in that trap. And that's all I was trying to tell people when he first came on the scene. I told people, when I saw him go up to the Breakfast Club for the first time, telling everybody to suck his D and he let his nuts hang and all of this and talking greasy and crazy, talking about blood, and talking like he was the biggest gangster alive. I say he needs to slow down because I've seen how these situations play out. I've seen it here in Chicago with a lot of local Chicago rappers. I've seen it just amongst people I went to school with, people in my neighborhood. I've seen how that story played out time and time again. People trying to make a name for themselves, trying to gain some popularity, gain some clout because they feel like people love that, the girls love that. That's how you get respected out here. And people run to that lifestyle because unfortunately, in the environments that we come from, fear is more respected than just being fear is more respected than just being a upstanding dude of high character. Being fearful of somebody, people respect being scared of you more than you being a good person. People will try to get over on a good person all the time. You're a good man, people gonna try to figure out a way to snake you in every way possible. But if they're scared of you, that is powerful. And unfortunately, we got to shift that dynamic because that's what leads people into the street life because they want respect so bad. They want people to fear them. They start committing crimes and doing things that are outside of their body. And then next thing you know, they live in a criminal lifestyle that they can't turn back from. They on the run from the police. And when they get caught, they got to do 60, 70, 80 years. Come on, man. That sounds ridiculous, but it is the reality of a lot of young people, a lot of young black and Hispanic people in America, in our neighborhoods, because people get caught up in trying to do stuff for popularity and do stuff for fame. Like we don't want to be like that. We don't want to live like that or try to portray the images or stereotypes that people have of us on TV anyway. People have those stereotypes of black and Hispanic people all the time. So divert away from that. But yeah, though, like I'm telling folks, it's never cool to jump into the gladiator arena or jump into the Coliseum. Once you jump in, you know a lion bound to come release from that gate over there. Spartacus come to be released over here. You gotta fight him head on, or if you lose, you shall be subject to, or you get clowned out here or something. You could be subject to either die, go to jail, and all of that. It comes with that territory, and unfortunately now Tekashi is realizing that. But I'm telling people, it's of course, when people say, I ain't going to jail for nobody, I ain't for nobody to try to rob from me and all of that, listen, you're not also partaking in their lifestyle. And if you choose to partake in their lifestyle, you got to understand what comes with it. Because right now, it's a lot of times people go and they try to be the biggest gangsters alive. And when they got to sit in front of the judge and the judge telling them, you sentenced to 50, 60 years, now they want to pick a fine time to play Sharif and try to act like, oh, the same thing I told you about Troy Ave. When Troy Ave was walking around here trying to be the biggest gangster alive, he a grown over 30 years old, trying to perpetuate a stereotype to young black men that you got to be gangster all the time and you let your nuts hang. This fool went to court in a bulletproof vest. Some of the hardest gangsters I've ever seen in my life went to court in a suit. What make you any different, bro? This is the real world, and you trying to act like you could just be the biggest hard-bodied gangster. You taunting a person suicide. He was taunting, suicide, and talking disrespectful, making a video on a rooftop, being disrespectful to that man. The man allegedly jumped to his death. He taunting all of that, and all that bad energy you creating, it comes back to you full circle. But I was telling people, like, then when he got in all that trouble, the streets are a myth. No, the streets are not a myth. They are a real thing. The streets are real, and if you jump into the streets, you will be forced to face real consequences. And that's what I want people to understand. You will face real consequences the moment you decide to jump off the porch into the streets and try to fulfill that lifestyle or act like you're the biggest gangster alive. My man had a hat with bullet holes in it and wearing at the court and all that. Troy Ave was out here clowned out. And then people were like, he a real one. Where I come from, brother? No, that's not. Once you get into trouble, you pick a fine time to play Sharif once you get in trouble. No, you knew what was coming. You don't do all that. You acting like you the biggest gangster alive and you talking reckless of folks and all of that. Then you decide to change. And he want to change his life. No, he trying to get a lighter sentence. Now he want to get off the hook. After he was out here acting like he was on his bully and gangster with every single person. Acting like he was the biggest gangster alive. Just like I'm saying, just be you. Just be you. You will save yourself so much trouble if you be yourself and be true to who you are. Girls will like you if you be yourself. The hood dudes will respect you if you just be yourself and stay in your lane. And all that other stuff, leave it alone. It's for the birds, man. But I'm done talking, man. Machiavelli Mills TV. Peace.